The day's chill winds sifted through spreading cotton threads, spreading threads too gap to stop the flow of coal. Thin stretched they were as the clouds which slipped past overhead, dipped and thinly spread with wisp of changing, melting smoke. Darkly stained with blemish there swept past in constant moving coolish air, a cold that touched flesh hiding beneath the cotton vest, a vest I knew when left the apartment's quiet, heated, pleasant nest would not be capable of passing the chilling test. To keep warm the flesh, hidden as though a bird within a hidden nest, tucked tightly by nature's parents, had somehow unfolded the hiding cloak, and yet somehow pursued and drifted. I went walking in the park, unaware of where or why, or what this lonely singular walk might come to bear, the fruit of which was hidden by frost heavy laid upon this still and morning air. Not alarmed or aware of where I went or was bound to go, for it was to be simply so, and go I did, and touched gently the patches of remaining ice-crusted snow that somehow had chosen to remain, though without a brain could not entertain such a thought themselves, while in curiosity I was so caught up in mindless wandering that thought, perhaps in nature, some primal attention might touch the ragged frozen cap which sat like a hat on each small pile of frozen dew. A dew that through the ages each had recycled as though unique and new to that time and place, and yet man and land and all that walked, crawled, and flew had known as rocks had before, when heated lava pools sent steam upward rising to somehow cool the planet in its early morning rising pains of birth. And as I looked out over the park's twin blue shallow lakes where steam drifted, I sensed the eyes of him I later learned was named Mr. Aaron Drake, who sat and stared out at the lake, with water coolish to the touch, where in summer's dress children waded to the knees, but not one now ventured past the trees where Mr. Aaron Drake sat and silent looked out at the lake. Then spoke to me he did without a word being uttered from lips cold shuddered. He spoke to me from within the cold that lay close that day, and emanated from his skin at that place on that day in the coolish month of May, and asked if I might draw tight the coat that covered his shirt stained, drying red from where he'd bled the night before, and could I please lift the bottle of cheap-made gin one more time to the lips of him who pale had closed most tight beneath twin eyes that held no light or sight at all, and wished in kindness to be propped up a bit so his corpse would not slip and fall upon the sidewalk that dawning day in the chilling month of May. And so I did as bid, then bid farewell to the silent apparition, silent seated, staring out at the twin lakes so silent in their bluish color, waves lightly lapping, tapping against the man-made shore, goldfish lazily sleep swimming there just inches from the air above, and went my way for nothing left to do for Mr. Aaron Drake, nothing left to do for he who had left the earth in violent play the night before the day, and whose rigid corpse would soon be found. And so I thought and inward knew no need there was for me to tend him there, and therefore continued to wander, surrounded by the chill air, as the voice behind grew mute, silent, still, and no longer to the stiffening body did any outward measure matter. Copyright 2011. Gordon Kuhn, The Poet in the Rain, Mr. Aaron Drake. Comes from the book The Rabbit in a Box, which can be found at Kindle, Nook, Amazon, Barnes & Noble. It has 166 pages, I believe, of poetry. Many stories just like this. I hope you liked it. And so I bid you adieu.